And I'll start out with the short overview of what we'd like to achieve in the next 45 to 50 minutes or so. We'll start out with a very short overview about how it is that we enhance the SharePoint for Internet Sites offering. We'll talk just a little bit about Interlock's partner program and how we like to work with system integrators, agencies, and others in the SharePoint space. We'll then continue with a demonstration, and that's where I actually want to spend most of our time this afternoon. I actually want to demonstrate the product for you and show you exactly how we can achieve some of the different tasks marketers need help with achieving. And then we'll conclude with a summary and Q&A. So that's really going to be what we'll go over during our discussion this afternoon. So I'll start out with the product offering. We see SharePoint as a wonderful content management system, a great platform to build websites on. And what we've done here at Interlock, we've worked very closely with the Digital Marketing Platform Group to understand how we can go and improve SharePoint as a CMS platform. And what we've done, we've actually added some different features and functionalities designed specifically for SharePoint. Some of these include things like web analytics, campaign tracking, the optimization of a SharePoint website with tools like A/B testing and personalization. We've added tools like visitor profiling and understanding who individual users are and how they're accessing and engaging the website. Voice of customer tools, which is essentially a survey tool where we can get feedback back from our customers. Affiliate, search engine optimization, and many more tools to really help us enhance SharePoint as a website platform. For those of you who are already familiar with the SharePoint Marketing Suite, I'd like to start out with some new features that we've added that you might not be familiar with. The first is user recording. This is a tool where we can actually track the user's mouse across the web page to show you with heat maps and so forth exactly what areas of the page are being accessed most by users and what areas are not accessed at all. So really a great way to track individual browsing sessions. We can also track things like if you have a form on your page, we can track exactly where people are filling out the form, where they're stopping, in order to improve that form as well. Our second new integration is with Microsoft's advertising platform, Atlas, where we can actually connect all your Atlas use to the SharePoint website. And there, for example, if you have different campaigns within Atlas, we can help you understand which campaign is achieving higher conversion rates. We can define different tests for specific campaigns or even target content for every different campaign that you're having within Atlas. A third new feature that we have included in the SharePoint Marketing Suite is our Facebook integration. So if you would like to monitor both your SharePoint site and also your Facebook page, we can actually monitor both of these environments using the SharePoint Marketing Suite. But furthermore, if someone comes to your website from your Facebook page, we can actually bring with that user a lot of information for you to use. And you can actually customize their experience within your SharePoint site based on who they are and the information that we know about them from SharePoint. And the fourth and final new integration I want to share with you today is our CRM integration. So if you're using both SharePoint and Microsoft Dynamics, we have a very neat integration between these tools where we can actually show your sales team all the usage data for a specific account. So for example, if you have a lead, we can actually show in that user's account within Dynamics exactly how often that lead has been visiting your SharePoint website, exactly which content they're interested in, and so forth. So really a great tie between marketing and sales, where marketing can now hand over these leads with lots of rich information. Next, and before I jump into the demonstration of the tool, I'll briefly touch on our partner program. So first of all, there's no cost to join this program. We're happy to work with any system integrators and agencies who work with SharePoint. And we work with partners in a few main ways. First of all, we provide commission for a successful sale of the SharePoint marketing suite. Next, we also provide a finder commission for partners who only want to refer customers to us. That's fine as well. Another great way that our partners are adding revenue for themselves is by additional services around this product. So things like marketing services, different use of our API and SDK, and really finding many new revenue streams for themselves. And of course, it's important for me to emphasize that we provide full support for our partners throughout the pre-sale process. So this is we provide, for example, a sandbox demo where you can demonstrate this product for your customer, an on-premise license for all of our partners, ongoing professional support. So if your customer wants a demonstration, if they want to try out our free trial and so forth, we provide all these services to our partners. And then just to, again, talk about the additional revenue stream that we can help our partners with, here are a long list of some of the services that our partners are eagerly taking when using the SharePoint Marketing Suite. So things like web analytics consulting and marketing consulting, or things like using our SDK to create additional reports for customers. And here, as you can see, a very long list of additional services that our partners are providing their customers. I'll now jump into the demonstration and actually show you how the SharePoint Marketing Suite can improve a SharePoint website. And just as a side note, I'll mention again, for those of you who just joined us, you can feel free to ask any questions in the question box within the GoToMeeting panel, and I'll gladly answer those questions at the end of our demonstration today. So today I want to talk to you about Joe, who's a marketer at a company called XTech. And let me start out by sharing with you a little bit more information about the XTech website. So XTech create apps for mobile devices. And here we can see the actual SharePoint 2010 XTech website in front of us. The goal that Joe and his team defined for this website, of course, marketers often like to work with goals and enhance their digital marketing and their website goals. In this case, the goal for this site is for users to click on the register button. Once they click on the register button, they arrive at a form where the user fills out their name and email, submit the form, arrive at a download page, and then a thank you page. And our marketer, Joe, has 3 categories of tasks that he would like to achieve within this for his website. And the 3 types of tasks, the first is under visitor engagement. Joe wants to know exactly who's visiting the site, where they're coming from, what the most popular content is on his website. The second category of tasks that Joe has is regarding optimization. Joe wants to be able to constantly be optimizing his website with the help of testing content and also providing targeted content to different users based on who they are, what they've done on our SharePoint website, and where they're coming from. And finally, like many marketers, Joe is spending a lot of time trying to bring people to his website. And the third area is acquisition. Here we'll see how Joe can actually improve his SharePoint SEO, how he can understand where users are coming from, and better identify where he should invest his marketing budgets. So I'll start out in the first group of tasks. Here Joe wants to better understand engagement, and he wants to do things like ad hoc reporting. He wants to also be able to create some scheduled reports for his website and be able to share these statistics with his team. He also wants to receive alerts on different shifts and changes in traffic. And also, he wants to be able to make sure that all this usage data that he's able to view, that he's also able to view it within his dynamic CRM. So as a marketer, he wants to make sure that he can provide his sales team with much richer leads. And of course, if his sales team open up a specific lead and understand just how many times the lead has been on the website, or exactly which product pages this lead was interested in, his sales team now has a lot more information to use. And I'll show you exactly how we can view all this SharePoint, all these statistics from the SharePoint website within Dynamics CRM. And finally, Joe would also like to survey his customers or his visitors on the site, able to get the feedback that Web Analytics isn't always providing him with. And so here I'll jump into the SharePoint Marketing Suite, and let me full screen this for you all. On the left-hand side, you can see different tabs which indicate the different features and modules of the SharePoint Marketing Suite. I'm currently showing the Analysis Center, and this is where Joe will achieve his first task to see some real-time information and create some ad hoc reports to better understand engagement up to the past few moments on his website. On the left-hand side here, you can see our close integration with the SharePoint platform, and here we can actually display the SharePoint hierarchy or tree structure. So as a marketer, all I need to do is select the area of the site that I want to view statistics for, and I can see those instantly. I'm currently showing information for the entire website for this X-Tech site collection, but as a marketer, I might want to see what's going on a specific page, or even a specific document or blog post, maybe an announcement that we're having on the SharePoint website. So here I'll search for a download, and I'll simply sync my Explorer on the download thank you page. Now by clicking on this page, again, I'll receive an instant dashboard with real-time web analytics for this specific SharePoint page. And this will show us information for today is the default. So again, we're going to see here some real-time information. Let's see if in my demo environment there's any info for today. Okay, so there isn't for today, but I can go ahead and change the date range. Let's take last week, for example. If I'm curious to see what are the trends going on with this download page over the last week, for example. So here we can see for this individual download, this individual page within our SharePoint site, we can see lots of statistics, so different trends. We can see things like previous pages. And of course, as a marketer, I can completely customize this dashboard to show me the exact statistics I'm interested in. All I do is click on this Add button here on the top left-hand side. And as you can see, several different categories of web analytics. For example, page views or visitors, navigation goals, and so forth. And I'll take as an example a list of unique users. So very, very easy as a marketer to add the different meters, charts, and tables that I'm interested in to see. And again, the advantage here that this is all real-time reporting and the close integration with SharePoint. So the fact that we know the exact site hierarchy, tree structure. Okay, and then here at the bottom, you can see that I actually added a list of unique users. In this case, some of my users are anonymous, and I can see their IP address, and some are authenticated. And we'll go into more details on unique users when I touch upon the CRM integration. I'll now jump into the Report Center. This is where we'll help Joe achieve his second task, which is to create some schedule dashboards for his team. And I'll start out by showing you a few examples for dashboards that we can offer here. So here we can see a dashboard for a landing page showing us where geographically users are coming from to visit our website. We can see here a chart or trend over time showing us page views and unique users. The next dashboard that I'll share is a funnel dashboard. So earlier when I showed the X-Tech website, I had mentioned the 4 steps that Joe and his team defined for a goal on their specific SharePoint website. And here we can see those 4 stages. This is a great visual for marketers. as we can define any number of steps for a goal and see in this visual funnel exactly how many folks or how many visitors started out on the home page, how many users moved down this funnel, and if they abandoned the funnel, at what stage did they abandon the funnel, and how many users abandoned. So it's very easy for a marketer to find the weak link in this funnel. If I understand that most of the users are abandoning my funnel here on the registration page, we can go back to that page, maybe shorten the number of fields in the form, and that way increase our conversion rate. So a great way for our marketers to very easily define a goal for their SharePoint website and make sure they're able to monitor it and constantly improve that goal. The next dashboard that I'll share also has to do with goals, but here we'll see goals from a different perspective. Here we'll see goals over time. So here you can see the total conversions over time and also the conversion rate in a trend version. But we can also see a list of users who have actually converted on our website. This is a huge advantage over other tools like Omniture and Google, for example, which don't actually go into details about individuals, but rather talk about trends. And we believe it's important to have both trends and individual usage. So here I can see all my different users. If I click on one of these users, in this case Pauline, I can see an instant dashboard specifically for Pauline and how she's been engaging with our SharePoint website. Let me pull that up again. Sorry about that. So here for Pauline, we can see how she first arrived at the site. In this case, for example, she searched for Intlog within Google. We can see where she's from geographically, and then down at the bottom we can see each and every visit Pauline has made to our site. And if I open any one of these visits, I can actually see which pages she's viewed during that individual visit. And furthermore, we can see exactly which pages she viewed, how she navigated, and so forth during a single visit. Now we can feed all this usage data directly into Dynamics CRM so that your sales team, they don't need to view all this information in reports, but can rather view this information as they open up a user's account. Let me go ahead and open my CRM here. So here if I jump into our leads, let me show you a quick example of how we can see all the users' usage data right here within Dynamics CRM. And I'll take Katie Hudson for this example, and I'll open up her account in Dynamics. And here we can actually see two things. The first is the Cardiolog score. So what we can do with the SharePoint Marketing Suite is actually assign a value to different actions on your SharePoint website. For example, viewing a specific page might be a point, downloading a white paper might be 10 points, and buying a product might be 40 points. And that what we can do is actually assign an aggregated score to each one of your leads so that our sales team can actually rank and score leads and then really start out with the warmer leads or the higher ranking leads. And then just below that, right here within Dynamics, we can actually show a list of the different pages that this user has viewed. So now, as a salesperson, I know exactly which products Katie's interested in, and I know exactly how often she's visiting the website, so I can really understand if she's a warmer lead, if she's been on the site many, many times in the past few weeks, or if she's only visited our site once or twice. That's a brief introduction to our CRM integration. I'll jump back into the demo and show you maybe one more dashboard. So here's the last dashboard that I want to share with you this afternoon. It's a traffic source dashboard. And here we can see a lot of great information around where users are coming to our website from. So we can see things like the referring page or the referring site, search phrases being searched for in Bing, Google, and other search engines to arrive at our website. And of course, if we're launching our own campaigns, we can also track all those campaigns And I'll go into more details about campaigns in the acquisition area of the SharePoint Marketing Suite and show you how we can create our own campaigns to track usage from the different email, pay-per-click, or social media campaigns that we're launching. The last task that Joe had for around engagement and better understanding his visitors is the Voice of Customer tool, or surveying users as they browse our SharePoint website. So here as I scroll up and down the home page of our XTech SharePoint 2010 website, at the bottom right you can actually see a pop-up survey. And the idea is that these surveys help our marketers get more feedback from users, which really completes the information that we receive from the web analytics. And let me start out by showing you a few more examples for surveys. And here at the bottom right, you can see a few examples. We can, of course, create open text-based answer surveys or multiple choice surveys. So here we're asking our users if they're able to find the information they're looking for. And let me show you just how easy it is to use it, even for a non-IT end user, for a marketer, for a business owner. All they need to do is define the question they want to appear within the survey. I'll then define if it's going to be open text-based answer or multiple choice. And if multiple choice, I'll simply define the answers I want to appear in the survey. I'll then define which page or pages I want the survey to appear on. So I can have different surveys appear on different pages. And also very powerful, I can define which visitors on my site will actually view this survey. And I can do that here with the help of segments. And I'll go over segments in more depth in the optimization area of the tool. But here we can define that a survey will only appear, let's say, for a new visitor or for a returning visitor, for a visitor from a specific traffic source, or let's say a visitor who's been on the same page for over 30 seconds. We can prompt a survey to ask if they have any questions and so forth. So very easy to customize exactly who this survey will appear for. The next group of tasks that Joe has to do with optimizing his website. And here there are three main tasks. The first, Joe understands that he has many different products on his site and many different visitors who are each interested in different content, different products, different services that he offers. Joe wants to be able to tailor his SharePoint website and make sure that he can provide targeted content to users based on who they are, where they're coming from, what they've previously done on his SharePoint website. Next, he'd like to test content, and we can test content in two main ways. One is with the help of A/B testing. So here, if Joe has a new layout for his landing page, he can go ahead and test page A versus page B to see which layout is more effective. Or he can use multivariate testing. In this case, we'll take a single SharePoint page, define several different options for the UI elements on that page, and then test out the conversion rate for those UI elements. And I'll jump back into the demo, into the optimization area of the tool, and start out with the segment module of optimization. There are three main ways that we can define exactly who our anonymous users are. The first way is by where they're coming from to our website. So that can be a referring page or referring site, for example. We can define that anyone coming from Facebook will be part of a segment. We can also define the search term. So let's say, for example, a user goes to Bing and searches for life insurance in Bing. When they come to our home page, we can show them targeted content about life insurance because we know that's what they're looking for, versus someone who's looking for car insurance in Bing arrives at our website, and then again on the home page, we'll see targeted content for car insurance. So a great way to segment our audiences by their traffic source. Next, we can define our anonymous users by their behavior on our SharePoint website. And here we can target users by the fact that they might be a new visitor or a returning visitor. They might view a specific page a certain number of times or have viewed our site a certain number of times. We can define them by individual pages they viewed. So if I go back to that car insurance example, if someone has been browsing the pages on our website that talk about car insurance, we can simply define that next time they return to our site, they'll view content about car insurance. And yet we can also define segments by the time they're spending on our site or on a page. So again, we can prompt a survey after a certain number of seconds and things of that sort. And then the third way that we can define our anonymous users is by their details and demographics. So things like their browser, the country which they're browsing, and other information we know about them based on their cookie and IP address. Once I have created these segments, we can go ahead and do a few things. First of all the tools that I'm sharing with you here are all connected to each other, are all integrated. That's one of the key advantages over using a web analytics tool like Web Trends or Google Analytics, and then using another tool for behavioral targeting and a third tool for survey. Here, all the features and functionalities that I'm showing with you are all connected. So if I create a segment within the optimization module, I can go back to the funnel that we saw earlier in analytics and filter that funnel by a specific segment. So I can see what that funnel looks like for my Facebook traffic versus my email campaign traffic, or for my new visitors versus returning visitors, and same thing with my surveys. We can go back and specify that a survey will be for a specific segment. But another great thing that I can do once I have these segments defined is actually personalize the content for each of these different segments. In order to personalize content, I'll define 3 different rules. The first rule is the page I want the content to change on, and I'll take the home page, which you saw earlier. Next, I'll define the UI element that I want to alter for the specific segment. And here, as you can see, the SharePoint Marketing Suite actually identifies the different UI elements on a page. And here I'll select this image, which I want to change. I'll select the location of the alternate image, and finally I'll define that this alternate image will be viewed by anyone who arrives at my home page from a website called Smashing Magazine. I'll go ahead and also alter the text. And I'll write something like, for our demo this afternoon. I'll go ahead and save that. And now let me walk you through the scenario. I'll go back to the Smashing Magazine website, and I'm currently an anonymous user. As you can see on the right-hand side, there are several pay-per-click advertisements. If I click on the XTech ad, I'll now be returned to the XTech homepage. I'll be identified as a user coming from Smashing Magazine, and here I'll be able to see the targeted content which I created just a moment ago. So here you can see the picture of the image that I changed. Here you can see the text that I changed just a few moments ago. So again, very, very easy to use for a marketer, and at the same time, very, very powerful to provide targeted content to users, and in that way to help get them more engaged with our website. So of course, if we can provide users with information they're looking for, they'll of course spend more time on our site and hopefully also convert or achieve any goals we define for our website based on the fact that we're providing them with the content that they're most interested in. And then the third area of optimization are the testing tools. Here we can provide 2 main kinds of tests. The first is A/B testing. So if Joe, our marketer, has a new layout for the landing page, all he needs to do is define the URL of the original landing page and now of the new variation landing page. The SharePoint Marketing Suite will send half of our users to each of these pages, and then based on the goal that we define for the page, will help us understand which landing page is more effective and achieving a higher conversion rate. So here we can see in this example that our variation page really is converting more traffic. We can also define that this test will only be for a specific segment. So in this case, I might only want to test returning users or returning customers, for example, and see how this page is influenced by that specific segment. The second kind of test that we can provide SharePoint websites is a multivariate testing. Here, instead of taking a single page and comparing it to a variation page, we can take just that original landing page and define a few different options for the UI elements on that page. So for example, I can define 3 different images instead of the iPad you saw earlier. Or as another example, we can change the Register Now button. What the SharePoint Marketing Suite will do is mix and match all the variations between the registration button and the images and help us understand which variation of content is helping to convert the highest number of users. So again, the goal here is to help our marketers make sure that they're using the content that's most compelling on the site, most engaging to our visitors, and really achieving the highest conversion rate. The third group of tasks that Joe has to do with bringing people to his website. So of course, Joe is spending a lot of time trying to improve his SharePoint SEO. He's spending a lot of time with email campaigns, as well as social media, a lot of Facebook marketing and Twitter. And he has to make sure that, first of all, that he can track all these different campaigns and all these traffic sources that are arriving at his website. He'd also like to be able to track affiliate traffic on his site. He wants to be able to create short, friendly links on his website. And finally, he also wants to make sure that he can enhance and improve his SharePoint search engine optimization. So in order to do that, I'll jump into the acquisition area of the SharePoint Marketing Suite. And here I'll share a few different tools that we offer to help with our marketers' acquisition of users. So here in the Shorten Links module, all a marketer needs to do is enter a long URL into this bar. And then we can automatically get a very short friendly URL which will redirect to our long URL. So if you're using Twitter, where you need to use very short URLs, we can do that here very easily. And then again, the key here is that all the tools that I'm showing you this afternoon are all integrated. So right from here, I can define personalized content for anyone who arrives at this page from this specific shortened link. So for example, if I want this campaign to include some kind of offer, we can define that on this page there'll be a banner for a discount based on the fact that this user arrived from this specific campaign. Now, if you don't want to receive a random URL like I just showed, here in the SharePoint Marketing Suite, marketers can actually define their own friendly short URLs. And this is how it's done. All we need to do is define the landing page, or the page we want users to arrive at for this campaign. And then down below, we can define the exact URL that we'd like to appear within our email or within our tweet. In this case, our website is called intlock.com, and I can add any suffix to this URL. So in this case, we're launching a newsletter with a message from our CEO. So I'll call this URL intlock.com/CEO. As you can see, it's very, very easy to define your own URL. But the nice thing here is that our marketers have complete control over this campaign. And what I mean is that if after a day or two of running this campaign, they see that this landing page is not achieving the results they'd like, we can simply change the landing page here, and then this intlock.com/CEO campaign will automatically redirect traffic to that new landing page. So there's no need for any IT background here. Our marketers are completely independent. And finally, we can also go back to the web analytics portion of this tool and see exactly what our dashboards look like for a specific campaign. For example, if I want to take that funnel again and see what it looks like for our email campaign and compare that to our Twitter campaigns, we can see exactly not only how many users or visitors are arriving from each campaign, but also how many goals are being achieved from traffic from each campaign. So very, very helpful for our marketers to understand where to invest their marketing budget and how to really improve campaigns that might not be working as well. I won't go over affiliates. It's very similar to campaigns where we can define landing pages and create tracking links for our affiliates. But let me jump into SEO here and show you some of the reports that we can provide to really enhance and improve our on-site SharePoint SEO. Some of the reports that we can provide marketers with include things like broken links, slow pages, content that's not found. Let me go ahead and open a report here and show you some more information. And here we're able to see additional reports such as missing titles, missing descriptions, H1 tags, and so forth. And the idea is that it's very, very easy for our marketers to go back and fix a broken link or add a tag or a title or description to a page. And what we want to do here is make sure that we can surface all these violations and errors to make sure that our SharePoint websites really are ranked as high as possible on Bing, Google, and the other search engines. I see there are a few questions in the questions box, and I'll get to them in just a few moments as we conclude the demonstration. And for those of you who have joined, please feel free to enter your questions as well. We'll be happy to answer those. I'll conclude the demonstration here in the administration panel just to give you a short taste of some of the additional features that we can provide here. So first of all, this is where we can define goals for our website. And here you can define a goal as viewing a page or clicking on a button. We can define a goal as several steps or several pages, similar to what I showed in the funnel. Under blacklist, we can actually exclude users from the data collection. So it's if you have spiders crawling the website, or if our marketers are actually browsing our SharePoint website and we don't want them to be influence the web analytics dashboards or the tests, we can exclude, again, IP addresses, specific dates, users, and so forth from the data collection. Here we can also define roles and permissions for the tool, define templates for the web analytics, and so forth. Okay, now we'll get into the Q&A section. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them now. Okay, and before I get into questions, just to briefly summarize, so I hope I was able to give you a short taste of how the SharePoint Marketing Suite can enhance SharePoint websites and really put in the hands of marketers the tools they need to optimize and really take their SharePoint website to the next level. I also hope I was able to share with you a little more about our partner program and some of the benefits of working with this tool and with Intlock. Again, I'd like to thank Klaus for scheduling this webcast. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me directly. My email's here on the last slide. Or, of course, if you have any questions for Klaus, I've added his email here as well. And you can feel free to contact him with any questions. And finally, I'll just mention that on our website, you can download a free trial of the SharePoint Marketing Suite. If you'd like to schedule a personal demo for your organization, for a customer, again, feel free to contact me, and we'd be happy to schedule a call for you. And now I see there are a few questions here, so let's take a look. The first question is asking about privacy, specifically in the European Union. Okay, that's an excellent question. One of the things that we've added to the SharePoint Marketing Suite is different levels of privacy to really address the laws in different regions. So we have several customers in the EU and specifically in Central Europe, like Switzerland and Germany, where these laws are very, very strict. And so for areas where we can't share actual usage data for what individuals are using, we have a feature called PII concealment, and PII stands for personal identifiable information, where instead of seeing an actual username or IP address, we'll actually show a random ID, and in that way we're able to answer all the EU requirements around not actually seeing personal information. We can also customize exactly how much access the SharePoint Marketing Suite has to cookies. So again, in some areas, like the European Union, there are laws coming out which say that customers have to opt in to adding any information to their cookies. And so again, that's a feature that we can provide customers, so that in places like the US, there's no need to opt in to such cookie usage. However, in the EU there is. So there are several levels of privacy within the tool, and that allows us to accommodate whatever is needed for local laws. Let's take a look at the next question here. This next question by Sam is asking, is this tool only for SharePoint Internet sites? So the answer there is no. It's not only for SharePoint Internet sites. Intlock has been working very closely with the Digital Marketing Platform Group at Microsoft to really see what the gaps are within SharePoint and what we need to add for SharePoint users. So that's definitely been one of our focuses, but we definitely have customers using this product to monitor their extranet and intranet site as well. And maybe I'll just touch upon some of the advantages there. If you are monitoring an internal environment where users are authenticated, we can connect out of the box to things like Active Directory and SharePoint profiles and actually filter the reports by specific roles in an organization or by departments, or target content based on department. So if a user from the marketing team goes to the intranet homepage, they can see a welcome from the head of marketing, and someone from finance team in the same area will see a welcome from the head of finance, for example. So many customers are using this tool for their intranet, extranet, and their public-facing SharePoint website as well. Next question is from Tony asking about licensing. So I'll briefly touch on licensing. This tool is licensed by server, not per user. And there are two editions of the tool, the Standard and Enterprise. Some of the key differences is the Standard can monitor a single domain, the Enterprise can monitor multiple websites. The Enterprise Edition includes all the features that I shared with you today, whereas the Standard includes, I believe, 5 or 6 different modules that I shared. All of our pricing information is all made public on our website, and you can feel free to check that out there. And of course, I'll be happy to send you a link after this call to that exact page. I see that's all the questions we have for now, but I'd be happy to stay on the call for the next few minutes in case there are any more questions. And again, if you have any other questions in the next few days, you can feel free to contact myself or Klaus. And if you want to schedule a personal demonstration for your team or further discuss your requirements or your customers' requirements, feel free to get in touch, and we'd be happy to work with you on that. So again, for now, I'll thank Klaus again for getting this webcast together, and I wish you all a good day.